Hey, welcome to another episode of Backyard Beer Brothers. My name's Rory Doherty, I'm joined by my mate JD. And today we're going to be drinking a series of beers from Japan. So good times, right?
Good times.
JD will be the perfect person, he's actually been there.
One of the millions of people that travel to Japan.
yeah. But what we're going to do, we've got 6 beers to get through, we're just going to work our way through them. There's no real particular order to how we're going to be going through them. Talk about what we think, what we sort of presume they're going to be like, and then get into them. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Awesome. Well, in that case, let's get first cab off the rank.
Let's go.
Kabam!
Big Japanese.
Yep.
Beer.
So right here, this is going to be the first beer we're going to have. So this is the, Sapporo Ginza Lion Beer Hall beer. So this right here, what we're looking at is a 330ml can, 5.5%. Bam. As far as the untapped score, it's a 3.18, so not too bad. Anything above a 3 is kind of good.
So untapped is to 5 out of best of 5? Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Boom. Let's get
3.8, eh?
No, 3.18. So above 3 is good. Above 3.5 is awesome, but I'm still yet to find anything under 2. And like, usually people like a
Get
beer
a rough
little
beer.
bit. Well, what you would do if I had a beer and it was scoring like a 1.5, I'll just create all these accounts and just jack it way up. So if you're watching this episode in the algorithm, it's just because I got all these bots just jacking it way up.
There's definitely, that hasn't happened to this beer, I don't think. This is too... Not worth promoting on Untapped, right? This is just a classic Japanese vending machine beer.
There's a couple of things to this. So of course, Sapporo had like a huge amount of beers. What is it? The Sapporo.
I've had the normal basic Sapporo.
And they also have they've also got the black version of the normal one, which is like a dark lager, which is quite good. But this here, just to give you a little bit of background, so the Ginza Lion Beer Hall. It's actually the oldest beer hall in Japan. And it opened up in 1899. So as far as where it comes from, this has like a huge lineage or history to it.
Where's Sapporo?
I think Sapporo has their headquarters in Tokyo.
Oh, really?
Well, they got their headquarters there. I just don't know. I'm pretty sure that's where
Sapporo's a place. Anyway, I'm the Japanese expert in this episode. I think.
It smells sort of like a generic lager kind of thing. Cheers.
Yeah, basic.
Malt forward.
Let's go. My alley. My hall.
What are you feeling? I feel like it's not too bad actually.
Yeah, I'm happy.
So it is kind of malty. There's a bit of bitterness there as well, but it's not the bitterness that you get from like a IPA, which is like super hoppy and sort of attacks your mouth. Whereas I feel like it's definitely got more flavour. Yeah, crisp for sure, but more flavour than a regular Sapporo.
There's something there. Lager, it's like a dulled down version of the lager taste, like the basic cheap lager that you get. It's like bitter. It's got
Yeah.
Oh, you probably don't do that, but I do.
Every now and then.
When you drink like the DB bitter or whatever, the Pajok. But this is like
the
dulled that down.
Bitter, yeah.
It's the same sort of deal, but it's dulled.
Yeah.
So the badness,
like the sharpness of the flavour isn't there.
Yeah, that bitterness.
I suppose if you've been making it for like over 100 years, you got to be doing something right.
Like it's made in a machine.
But the person dialed that machine in perfectly.
Fine-tuned it.
I always do wonder that, like, all these sort of old breweries, like I know there's a couple of old breweries in New Zealand, like, where's Tui?
Manga Tanoka.
Yeah,
Manga.
Hasn't that been around for ages as well? But I always think, when it was all sort of handmade, although the recipes may be the same, do you think that they'd taste the same? Like if we went back to, 1899 and went to...
1899? Check the date on that one. Just quickly Google that. 1899? Oh, we're talking about time travel. I'm going to go try Sapporo. I'm going to the Sapporo Hall. And
we're just going to go dressed like this in 1899, just rock up into the Ginza Lion Beer Hall.
This is pre-Englishized Japan, so they probably hate white people.
Would probably be like a diamond in the rough, really. Would be like celebrities. But the question is, do you think if I walked in with this in here and had another glass of whatever it is they had, what the difference would be?
It would taste worse.
Worse?
Yeah, it would taste more alcohol. Like, I'm just going off gut, just guessing. I'm just going to go.
6 shooter.
Hopefully, technology improves, right, for a time. If we're going back over 100 years, they ain't going to be making machine level beers. Whatever they're putting these in, the fine tuning. You're talking about the fine tuning that we just made up, but we're going with. That's now
fact.
Yeah, I read it on Wiki.
Yeah.
That fine tuning hasn't happened yet. This is some bloke going, I've got. My granddad died. He left me this hall. I don't know, but
my granddad built this hall. He's just over there. It's brand new. But like, I also think with a lot of things, I think it is true that machinery has made it all better and that sort of thing. But I think with beer, because it's yeast is the main part of, like a big part of it, of the brewing process, and because that needs like a lot of oxygen and so forth, I wonder if, like, I would almost
brewing
guarantee
would have been different all around the whole world.
But I think it would
they
taste
might not
different.
even be making beer. They could be making like rice wine or something like.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's the beer hall.
Yeah.
Beer was a thing. Beer's been a thing for.
Yeah, but it could be like closer to a mead. Who knows what the percentage was? It could be that you're drinking this rocket fuel beer, getting lit to the max. And
or are they still in big vats and like a? Or what do they call those things? Urns? What are they?
Like a cauldron?
like a big cauldron, and they just have an old bloke fucking stirring it away.
You just sit at a table, there's a guy stirring. Is
that how beer's made?
Bob for apples, and it's like. Jeez.
And then they screw the lid on real tight, and then they got air light filters. They've got that little dial that you're talking about tuning. That guy's just there. He's been there since the start.
I do I'd almost guarantee that all of the beers that we're drinking today taste different to what they did originally, but the difference would be whether they're better or not. I don't know if it will be necessarily better.
Invest in a Sapporo original can. Pre-war.
But the problem is,
pre-war can.
You're drinking a 100-year-old can. It's not like it's going to go still be just as crisp as it ever was. It's like, have you seen any of those history channels and stuff where they find 1,000-year-old wine and it's like a half-empty bottle with sludge in it?
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, what if that's still as good as it was back in the day? Nah.
Maybe we could call up a 80-year-old Japanese man.
Get him to taste it. He's just like,
back in my day. That's not what he said. I should have done an accent there and sounded more racist.
You should have just dialed the racism up, just like that guy on the machine.
I'll perfect this racism thing. For 100 years, I would have perfected it.
But, you already done.
That's alright. You usually give me these beers that are this rubbish, or whatever you give me on this show, but that's good. I'm with it. I'm with it.
So, as far as this beer is concerned as well, this is one of the more expensive beers we are going to be drinking today. So this one here, picked up for $8.50, single can. Sort of on the pricey side. Kind of standard though for beers, I suppose. If you're comparing it to what you're buying beers for in a bar, it's actually pretty good. Alright, well in that case, let's get on to beer number 2. What we've got. You're continuing with Sapporo, but this is the Sapporo Gold Star. Bam, right here. So again, we're looking at a 330ml can. It's 5%. As far as the untapped score, it was 3 out of 5. So not too bad. So
I'm expecting this would be, so you're setting my expectations, this is a little bit worse than that, but
at the
medium
same time,
range,
this one here was $8.50, this was $5.50.
Okay, alright.
So you get 3 of those for 2 of those sort of thing.
Yeah. So, get the cheaper one. So it's just a cheaper version, right?
Alright, 3 of those for 2 of those. Yeah, I'd rather have 3 beers than 2 beers.
But I mean, if it's better.
Yeah, well that's the thing. Well, I think, to be honest, the untapped score is like a sort of guideline you can go from. But there's some beers that score really high that I've had that I've just gone, whoa, bro. I don't know, going back to that, are they just jacking those votes, those views or whatever up? But yeah, so $5, 3 on untapped, $5.50, 3 on untapped.
Jan.
Hopefully it's as good. It's very similar in the smell, but maybe just a little sweeter.
I'm not worried about smell.
It is very similar, but I feel like it's just dialed the bitterness down slightly.
Even, like, yeah, well, like to nothing almost, yeah. Like.
But I feel like the bitterness.
It's watered down. They've just tipped water in there. And just add water. That's all this is.
But no, like the bitterness is sort of more around the front of my tongue or like the front of my mouth.
It's still crispy.
Still a crisp, crunchy
like
beer.
A crunchy nut cornflake.
No, I'm a big fan. So far, both of these beers have been really good. If I pulled up and we're drinking these at anywhere, I'd be happy.
Yeah. Like yeah, this is.
It is one.
I like the one before. If we're not meant to link everything together, I know all these, but
we can. As far as these are concerned, we definitely can. All the beers we can link together.
Yeah.
But
one way or another.
So you're sort of sitting at the Ginza Lion Beer Hall still a little bit more.
Yeah,
a little bit more flavour.
I'm back in 1899. Still sitting there waiting for my first ever
TV
Golden Lion. I'm there.
Yeah. No,
but I won't be at wherever this was made.
Well, I'm still.
This was like a revolutionary idea in the Sapporo company. They're like, can we just add water to this original beer and then?
Well, it is a lower percentage as well.
They just added water. Does it have carbonated water in it? Can you check that? Can you read Japanese?
Well, the thing is not really.
No, they wouldn't do that. But
no, they wouldn't.
There's probably like a even more complicated way to make this, but.
Yeah, no. I'm not going to be able to read that. But
it does just taste like they've added, like put a splash of water. You know when you drink whiskey and it's a bit too strong, you drip a bit of water in. I reckon they put drip, drip, drip. Get the old soda stream out. There you go. $3 cheaper.
It's all done. Do you want the soda stream version or the legit old school version? I'll get the soda stream, please. But no, it is. It's pretty good. I'm actually a big fan of both of these. The only thing I find though, you know, if you go into a bar, I actually like it when I can see that they've got Asahi or Sapporo on tap. The only problem is that they've got those little tiny Asahi glasses that they usually sell.
Yeah, they're like the skinny ones.
And they're like heavy as. It's like, oh dude, I just want like a normal pint. It's got these like rubbish glasses.
Yeah.
It's sort of a hard, stupid, like it's hard thing to do, but at the same time, yeah.
It's a good beer. I like Asahi.
It is.
If it's in my top 5 beers. I think it's clean, it's reliable.
I wouldn't go
good for recycling.
Top 5, but it's a beer that I regularly go to. Like, because it's kind of expensive over here. But if it was the same price as a lot of other beers, like I'm a big fan of Dos Equis. They're dope.
Dos X, double X.
Yeah. The Millers, I'm a big fan of them. Coors, I like that too. It's like an easy to drink beer. Whatchamacallit, Asahi's definitely on the list as well. Because
what's your like beer drinking routine? Like you didn't have any rules from your wife or something. What is your beer? If
well, it depends.
Like, let's pretend you don't get in trouble if you start drinking every night of the week.
What I would usually do is there's 2 ways I'd go about it. If I go and I find a couple of craft beers I really like, then I'll offset that by some real cheap other beers. So I'll have 2 nice craft beers, and the reality is you're probably looking $10 each, sort of at least most times. So I already spent $20, then I'll buy like a real cheap 4-pack for like $15. So that's more like a Friday night in, I suppose. But if I was going to someone's place, like a barbecue, and I wanted to pick up some beers, I definitely wouldn't pick up any craft beers. It would just be, probably a 6-pack. Maybe just like Coronas. Just something sort of more standard, I suppose. Yeah.
There is like a thing, like standard beers and like, could be good, could be, you're rolling the dice beers. That's how I look at them. I know people are like, oh, craft, blah, 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 blah.
Well, there's like, the other thing as well is, with whatchamacallit, like a lot of craft breweries will have like a sort of generic flagship beer that they have, like, you know, Dayton Brewery had their draft that we had. I would rather go with sort of a giant like corporation, like Asahi as an example, or maybe I don't really like Budweiser, but like I'd rather go with them that specialise in making that beer rather than a craft brewery that just on the side makes like a generic beer, because I find those are kind of duds.
Yeah. So are you getting like a little high off the? You don't know what you're going to get. Is there like a little boost to it?
No.
Are you rolling dice? Is it gambling? Is this?
I feel like I've rolled the
gambling?
dice enough to know that I just don't. I've bought a few 6-packs that I've gone. Like I don't even want to drink these.
Yeah.
Like,
Like that Four Loko episode. If it ever comes out.
well, it already has.
Okay, cool. Didn't pop up on my thing. Anyway,
You're not subscribed to
Sorry,
our
we're just
thing.
popping into admin mode.
Yeah. If you want to watch the Four Loko episode, it's going to be just here. Click on the link.
Click the link.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle that at all. That was yuck. That was disgusting. This is like, I couldn't be more happy with this.
Yeah.
Like this is the shit. If someone brings it, it looks weird. It's like, what the hell was this dude brought Japanese beer? You're meant to be having Victoria Bitter or DB Draft. But 6-pack of them, share them around. No one's going to be upset. And they'll feel cool that they're drinking a weird beer that they've never seen. So
well, it's like, I remember you and, what's his name, Winston used to buy, what is it, Cass or Cass? The
yeah, I've got that at home right now.
That's all good too. So I think, especially with international beers, if you find a good one, then it's very easy to go back to. But there's just, like I find, like European beers, I'm not a fan of because I just don't like beers like Stella, Trois.
Stella's shit, Heineken in the middle.
I still don't really like
Beck's,
Heineken either. Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
I used to have a rule, any beer in a green bottle was just a nah. The same in New Zealand, because you get Steinlager in a green bottle. I hate Steinlager.
I like the Steinlager Pure, for the ones who know. Is that still a thing? I don't even know.
It is. What about Steinlager Tokyo?
No. Are we bringing it, we're circling back to Japanese beers? Is this how
But you actually can get a Steinlager Tokyo, and it's like a rice lager. It's a very similar style. Very crisp.
I don't know about that. Anyway, the Pure was good.
Yeah.
And the normal... What beer was I talking about?
Steinlager. The Pure.
And then I was like, so how can I bring this back to Tokyo? Because you had the awesome segue and I just stepped all over it.
Well done.
Yeah, no, take the lead.
No, like, I still remember when I was working up in the bush, we used to always drink Waikato Draft, and we would pick up a box at the first bottle store when we were driving into Rotorua, and then we'd pick up another box when we got there, and sometimes it would actually be 2 boxes, and that was like gonna be a good night. But if we were feeling real flush and wanted to have a mean night, then we would pick up a couple of boxes of Steinlagers. And dude, I hated Steinlager. But it was just like, it almost signified like, I feel like I'm bowling, we're drinking Steinies.
Just because they sponsored the All Blacks.
But it's like, people that drink, what is it, like Dom Perignon, like any type of champagne, it's like, dude, it all tastes gross.
It does, right?
Yeah.
Let's get on the same page for once. Let's get on.
We're on opposite sides of the spectrum of the Four Locos, but boom, aligned on the champagne.
Boom, fast. Champagne sucks, yeah.
Yeah.
I just get... But there's like you've got to drink it. When someone pulls it out, you're like, oh, I've got to have the glass.
Yeah,
but I've never,
it's the
never
obligation.
been happy. I don't know. Anyway.
A few alcohols like that. But, alright, so we're on to the next one. Alright, so the next beer we're going to be drinking is this one right here. So this is the Kirin Spring Valley Hojun or Koju 496. Bam! So it's looking good, exactly the same as the previous two. We're looking at a 350ml can right here. It's coming in, it's a little bit stronger. We're looking at a 6% beer, and this one scored a 3.24 out of 5 with Untapped. So the highest percentage, the highest Untapped score, and we're looking at one of the more expensive ones. This came in at $7.99.
So $8. Did the maths for you.
Thanks for rounding it up.
Alright, Kirin. Spring Valley.
It's actually looking a little darker. So hopefully it's slightly toastier on the malts. Maybe even a little bit caramelly.
Alright. Let's save the big words, alright? Leave out the big words, bro.
Bam.
What about the texture?
Cheers. Well, hopefully it's got a good mouthfeel.
Alright, Kirin Spring. I can smell. It's more fruity.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it a pale ale? What is it?
I think it's another lager.
Just another lager. Just another effing lager.
Whoa, this is definitely going more into the craft beer realm. It is actually a little hoppier.
We're in the realm.
Yeah, just like you mentioned, it does have sort of fruity notes coming through on the taste too.
Fruity.
But
it's very mild. It's a mild fruity, you know, when you get those pale ales that like the tropical.
Yeah. It's definitely
like the Dayton Brewery.
That hazy in the
jungle. IPA.
Yeah.
That's not even a pale ale. Oh, is it Indian pale ale?
Yeah,
it is. Pale ale.
No, well, with this, so this one here, very similar sort of brewing to a lot of the other Kirin beers. The main difference though is this contains 5 different types of hops, and that's what it's giving it that sort of
what is a hop?
Fruity notes. It's the actual sort of bud that's used to make the actual beers. What gives them a lot of the flavors as well. As well as that, this also contains 1.5 times the amount of malt as the regular line of beers as well.
And what is malt?
I think malt comes from like grains, pretty sure.
What kind of grains?
Maltese grains? I have no idea what type.
Maltese from the from the island of Maltese.
Yeah. I don't think it does, but it might.
Malta.
I'm willing to roll the dice on that one, because the reality is whenever you lie, you're actually telling the truth until you're proven wrong. So until the end of this episode, if you pause it right now and look it up, you can prove me wrong instantly. But until the end of this episode, when we look it up after, but we're going to forget about it, I'm going to be right until then.
Yeah. When you're right, you're right.
Yep. I can't argue with that. Not a true thing has been said.
I know.
This is going to sound real stupid, but I've started trying to come up with stupid responses to people that say stupid sayings.
Yeah, okay.
And the 2 that I have, and they're so dumb, but I've seen people sort of crack up or give little giggles on. When people say it is what it is, I always go, yeah, and you know it isn't what it isn't. You're like, oh my god. But it almost
what are we doing here?
Nullifies,
I've got to go home.
but it nullifies them saying it is what it is, because that's a stupid nothing sentence anyway. What does that even
it's
mean?
actually a deep philosophy quote from
we'll give it.
From Kant.
Immanuel
Kant, Google it.
But so that's one. The other one is when people when people if you don't know the answer or whatever, when people say, oh, well, it's like the age-old question, how long is a piece of string?
Yeah.
And I say, well, a piece of string is 2 times the length of one end to the middle.
2 times the length from one end to the middle?
Yep.
Times pi divided by the radius of the square.
One end to the middle, 2 times that is the length.
So that's pretty much the world size, right? That's the whole world. Just in one metaphor.
Lock it up. We're done.
What was the one I was thinking of just then?
What was the one I didn't say that.
So what you said, jog my memory.
It isn't what it isn't.
Okay.
How long is a piece of string? 2 times the length from one end to the middle. That.
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
The egg did.
My man. Cheers to that,
Look
bro.
at that crack, bro. You give me a problem and just I shoot out a solution. I fine tune it just like the dude at the Great Lion Beer Hall. Obviously not in 1899, but today. Fine tune it, ring a ding, out comes.
Because it always feels like I've never brought that up to ever, right? And you gave the correct answer, but how many times have you heard someone say, "What came first, the chicken or the egg?" Right? But it's the egg. It's the egg.
Well. There's actually there's 2 ways.
You can't even get around that though.
No. But there's sort of 2 things that you can look at, right? So one is, first of all, an animal doesn't morph into a chicken. First of all, you don't have a fucking lizard that.
So then you're
becomes
arguing
a chicken.
definitions when you call a chicken, right?
No, what you're saying is
But you're saying, hold on.
You just cut off.
Alright.
You haven't even let me finish, right?
I know.
I'm saying so. It's 2 parts, right? So one is
apology.
An animal
I'll bow to you.
halfway through
Sapporo.
doesn't become a chicken, right? So it has to lay an egg, and what comes out of the egg is the chicken. But what you're also doing is you're missing a lot of facts. You're presuming a lot of things. So what comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
Right? In your head, you've obviously linked what comes first, the chicken or the chicken egg. But the question is, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? So predating any animals, there were fish millions of years ago, dinosaurs
Laying
had
eggs.
Well, fucking...
We watched Jurassic Park together.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, Jurassic Park's actually set in the modern day. No.
Yeah, but they were eggs.
Yeah.
And then when we were kids,
so
we
if we're
learned
just
about
looking at
other animals.
separately.
We weren't
any
eating
form of
caviar,
chicken,
you know?
Yeah. If there any form of chicken, any form of egg, what came first? Eggs, for other animals, came millions of years before chickens were even around.
But you could also argue, like, I'm saying that chicken or that egg. What is that?
Ooh.
So we can even go
break down the sentence into single words. I like
I can
it.
get old Noam Chomsky on it and like really dig into the meaning of words. And that.
I get what you're saying. Bow back to you, bro. You got it.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Amen.
Bam. This is going to be the next beer we're drinking. This is the Kirin Ichiban Shibori Kuro Nama.
Namasake.
And it's right here. This is actually one that I'm keen to get into. So to tell you a little bit about this beer, this is another 350ml can. We're looking at 5%, so coming down from the last one. Most of them have been around that 5.5 and 6%. But this has, I think, the highest untapped score of any of the beers we're drinking, 3.34. And it's sort of up on the higher end of the price range, $7.50. So, not too bad. Actually, I still got to finish the last one. Have you finished what's left in your can? Oh, left in your glass?
I have now.
So this is, I'm pretty sure, they're dark lager. Whoa.
Oh, come on, bro.
But
You can't even pronounce it and now you're dropping on like a...
just out of nowhere.
out of nowhere, like putting black dye. It's like, you're like, hey, I've got your cola just to ease it up a bit. We've been drinking all these beers.
But the good news is that, have you had, what is it, dark lagers?
Yeah.
Not like stouts, so nothing
Guinness,
like
I've
that.
had Guinness. Is that dark
Guinness
lager?
is a stout.
It is, yuck.
So this dark lagers are like the halfway point between a Guinness and a lager. So it's kind of, they've taken the malt a bit further. And it's sort of got some of those roasty and toasty notes, but it, fingers crossed, is way less bitter and more crisper than a Guinness.
Okay.
So it shouldn't have that like.
It's only
thicker
5%.
mouthfeel.
I don't know what I'm worried about, right?
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers to that one.
Boom. Let's get it on. Yeah, it smells a little maltier, I suppose. Almost biscuity.
Is that like coffee? Is there coffee in there?
Well, that's what you sort of get from these sorts of beers, the coffee taste. But there won't be coffee. It won't be caffeinated.
I want some caffeine, man. Give me some caffeine.
But
Are
it
you
does.
sure?
It almost has like an espresso martini kind of taste to it, right?
It tastes like the sparkle with the instant coffee, like they chuck the instant coffee in my beer. Yeah, man, I don't drink these weird fucking beers.
But this isn't even, I feel like this here is like the first step into other beers.
I can see that though.
Because it's, describing it as a halfway point between a stout and a lager, I think is the best way forward. You look like you're loving it.
Nah, bro.
Nah?
This ain't it. I'm glad we got these backup cups so I can just
Give that one the flick.
give that the flick. I've sort of weaseled my way into getting a veto system. I can just get out of drinking.
Does any beer he doesn't want to drink, that's the veto system,
I've
right?
said, if you want me to fucking join you on this shit, let me just take it easy on some.
So this is the first one that you're giving the na to?
Yeah, I'm giving it a na.
Alright.
Na. Shana Shania Twain.
That's what it's getting. But no, I really like it. No, just new glass.
Oh, I see the
Yeah.
situation. Yeah, it's probably a bit better. Smart, good thinking.
Do you like how I did that? Instead of putting it into there and then putting that one away and using the same glass that's already got something within it, you just replace the whole glass. It's a pretty good system. It is a good system.
And then I have to look at my failings. I have to face the facts that this beer is yuck.
Oh man.
No, I've had enough of that. No, thank you.
Pardon me.
What do you think? You give you're more of a.
I like it. I actually really like
flavours.
it. You mentioned it's got the coffee notes in there. It is. It's got those sort of. It's it's almost at the bitterness that you would get from a usual stout or even like a porter, but it's not quite there. I really like it. The other thing that I mentioned before was that it's going to be sort of crisper or have a lighter body or lighter mouthfeel to it, and it is. It's much easier to drink.
I've had the coffee beers, like the ones that are like infused.
Yeah.
It's like on those lines, but it's pulled back a bit.
Yeah. But
that makes sense.
I feel like, as far as Guinnesses are concerned, people talk about Guinness being a meal, and it kind of is. Whereas this, I wouldn't want a session.
That's a snack.
A little hors d'oeuvre. A little, yo, can I get one of those? Yeah. But these, I feel like I could drink these first three. If there was a slab, I would happily drink through them, if we're watching the UFC. This, I feel like...
Who bought that shit?
Nah. If I bought it...
Do you get one?
I think I could get through a half a six pack. But then I'd want to change. I'd need to have something in between going back to the other ones. That would be one of the ones of like, I'll put the six pack in the fridge, I'll get through my first three, and then I'll be like, hey, does anyone want to try one of these Kirin, Ichiban, Shibori, whatever.
Shibori, Nagasaki, Kurinamas.
And then I'd convince other people to have them.
Kirin.
Or I would go to the fridge, because there's a two-way street here, right? You either, if you've got some beers you don't want to drink, you either convince some other people to drink them so that they're obligated to give you whatever they're drinking, or you just pick something that someone else is drinking and be like, oh, yo, who's the blah, blah, blahs? Can I just grab one of those? And people are, usually you wouldn't go, hey, who's got those? The last
so you're laying out tips here for drinkers.
If you take bad drinks,
I feel like there's a story a bad drink.
Can you remember those beers that we brewed? You came and helped bottle? Yeah. So I did this thing and it was ridiculous. I think we ended up with like...
it's meant to taste like the 50 lashes.
Yeah, 150 lashes. It was, I don't know if it was that close to it, but the thing was...
Pretty far off.
How many? I think we had 8 to 24 packs, right? Like we had this huge amount.
Yeah.
And the thing is that when you brew them, you're actually meant to have them chilled until you drink them. The idea is that you drink them really quickly. But
yeah, that fridge space.
Yeah, I was living in an apartment at the time, and I had a 24 box that was...
I took a box. I think I polished off a box myself.
But that was the other thing. I don't think they were that strong either. But I had a 24 box that I left in the bottom of my cupboard. And then you remember Marty, he had a... I don't know what it was, but there was some gathering at his house, like a barbecue, someone's birthday, whatever. And I got there and I took this 24 box of my homebrew beer, and he had this old washing machine outside that had ice in it, and everyone was just putting their beers in it. And just after I got there, Marty basically stopped the party and said, hey, look, everyone's putting beers on top of beers here. Instead of trying to find your beers, just drink whatever beers are there. And I was like,
what a good
yes!
Yeah.
So I was quickly like, fuck, I'll just scoop out all of my homebrew beers, because they had got to the point of tasting sort of like a tangy, rancid juice. But like, what was funny was I'd see people open them, have a sip and like spit it out, and then put it straight down and go get another beer. And like maybe like 2 hours later, there's like 20 of these bottles that are basically full. Oh, dude, it was so bad. But it was just my little joke of, I'd look back and as soon as someone would pick it up, they'd sort of look at it and I'd be like, take it, don't put it back in. If they did take it, it was like, yes. Just watching their faces, they're like, quickly like dry reach almost. Yeah, so homebrew, straight away it wasn't bad, but a couple of months later after being in my cupboard.
After avoiding the directions. The advice they've given.
What do they know? They only work there, right?
So preservatives in beer, I think there's something, right? Keep cold.
Well, they wouldn't have had that back in 1899.
I know, so that was probably that beer you would give out
followed
was
the traditional.
What it tasted like.
So that guy that's fine tuning it would have looked at me and said, oh, you know the old school plan. That's the old recipe.
Back in the 1900s, people are probably just worried about alcohol content, right?
Well, actually, funnily enough, this sounds kind of weird, but it was actually safer to drink alcohol than it was to drink water. Because in order to make alcohol, the water would usually be boiled and all the fucking bad shit in it would be taken out. So it's actually healthier or better, like, for your safety to give your kids some low percentage alcohol before they went to school or before anything, because you knew that the alcohol at least didn't contain all the fucking bacteria and shit that the regular water did.
I'm a big proponent of having getting a bottle of water and then just chucking a little shot of vodka in. Just for your day. Yeah.
Just for your work.
So I'm just drinking water, but I'm getting a microdose of alcohol. That is not what I do. I just made that up. This guy was like, actually, yeah, my wife thinks I'm fucking drinking water. I'm getting a little mini buzz.
Have you seen can you remember the joke on the, what should we call it, the Family Guy? Where it's carbonated vodka? And then it's like, yeah, your wife will be happy that you've cut down to just one beer a night. And this guy is drinking this carbonated vodka. His wife comes and sits next to him and is like, I'm so proud of you for only drinking one beer a night. He has a big skull and is like, yeah, take those clothes off. He looks at the camera and is like, she will never know. Absolutely fucked up. That's how I felt after that Four Loko episode, was totally wasted. But, alright, I think we're on to the last two we've got. Actually, these are our Asahis. So let's go have a look. Hey. Alright, let's get into this one. This one actually looks pretty dope. This is the Asahi The Rich Premium. So to tell you a little bit about this beer, what we're looking at is, again, 350ml can, 6%, so again, one of the highest or stronger ones that we're going to be drinking today. I think this is the lowest untapped score though. It comes in at 2.92. So take that with a grain of salt, like we mentioned before.
Round it down to 2.1.
Isn't going to be a bad thing, but let's give it a jam.
Let's give it a jam.
Round it up to a 3.5. Round it all the way up.
How do you round? Net to the nearest 10? So give it a 5?
I could just give it the Rory Doherty scale of...
Scullability. Let's bring back the scullability scale. Is it scullable, bro? Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I funnel that
I'll tone down that one. Cheers to the...
This one smells
people.
Way lighter. Like there's not much going on with it as far as the nose is concerned.
They're rich, eh?
Jesus. Well, after drinking that last one,
or like
no, I feel like it's kind of
over-carbonated.
Like you're chucking some stuff out here, but it does feel like it's a bit more carbonated, but it also, I don't know if my taste buds are sort of blowing out a little bit from that dark lager, but I just feel like there's not much going on with this.
There's a lingering flavour for me. Oh, fuck, we're working through the beers, I'll tell you that, right? So we've each drunk 2 and a change.
Beers.
Plus our pre-drinks, our pre-show drinks.
Yeah, the pre-show dozen. Definitely was. Right. That was the mistake that we made with the Four Loko. I know we talked about the previous episode, Four Loko, but to give a little bit of context, because I don't think it was really discussed, or I actually had to cut out the context that we were giving because it was just so ridiculous, yelling over each other. But the idea with that Four Loko episode is I knew we were going to be drinking 7 of them, which is like 7 bottles of wine between 4 of us. And in my head, I'd envisioned it taking maybe like 2 hours plus. Like it would have been like a long, slower period. The problem was that being one of the guys that was here turned up way late, which just meant that the whole schedule was like jam-packed like you wouldn't believe. Cut that. So what made it worse though was the fact that I had planned that I wouldn't drink anything. I was just going to be fresh, hit that first Four Loko, and that was going to be the first alcohol I drank for the day. But because Ben was running so far behind, I was like, well, while we were waiting, you had turned up, Kevin was here, I was like, well, let's have a couple of beers. So then that turned into a couple more beers. And then when he did get here, already like 4 beers deep. Which was all bad, wrong idea for that. As well as that, I think, I should have just not had so many Four Locos, to be honest.
Yeah. 4 Locos.
And
I felt guilty on that one. I was like so negative, but
there weren't too many positives on the Four Loko.
There were none for me. Other than the only positive was I know that now I don't like that. That's the only positive I've got.
It's such a good positive to take from. Yeah, so the other night I got into this big street fight and this guy glassed me. But you know, the positive is, I know I don't like being glassed.
Oh, I hate being glassed.
Yeah, I know for sure. I was thinking I wouldn't be a fan.
So it's a positive note overall? Yeah, I'll say so.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things. Bucket list.
Scars, I got a big cut on the back of my head. But,
Chicks love scars. And it's bucket list, bro. Everyone's got to be knife glass sometime.
I don't think I've ever been glassed.
Nah. It's not one of those things that you actually...
Just to break I could just lie and make up some shit. But
I don't think I've ever been glassed. Well, let me tell you a story about the first time I was glassed. Nah, never been glassed. But actually, yeah, as far as these beers, this one just isn't really doing it, to be honest.
We're getting to that point we can squeeze one more.
So this one here, price point, the second cheapest, this was $6, $5.99, save you rounding me up. But if you're looking at it between this one,
$6, right?
Yeah, between this one and this one, so these are both under the $6 technically. I would much prefer the Sapporo Gold Star.
Yeah, way big time.
I think this is the worst.
This has got sort of got the Asahi taste. If you've had an Asahi, it's got the Asahi taste, but it's like it's dulled down, and they've added a bit more around the corner.
It is.
So you're going down the Asahi street, but it's just off.
But
is that how beer reviewers do it?
It's a one-way street.
It's a one-way street.
It's not even signposted very well. So if you miss it, you're gone. That's
so
why
you're going down Asahi Road, and it's just down Asahi Lane.
Yeah.
Asahi Drive.
Yeah. No, not even that. It's
dead end street though.
Yeah. Dead end one-way street.
It's got a little roundabout at the end, but you can't get out.
Yeah. You just got to leave your car at the end. And city planning in Asahi town is pretty bad.
It's rough.
Jeez. Now this one I do not like. Or actually rephrase it. I like it less than all of them. You know, it isn't what it isn't. Yeah, it's a top shelf, right there. Down that one-way street with the cul-de-sac.
Yeah. You go around the roundabout. You've gotten stuck now. You can't get out. You've got to walk.
Actually, this is another one of the ones that I was actually really keen on trying. So this is. It's called the Premium The Black. Oh no, the Premium Malt The Black from Suntory. So to give you a little bit more details, again, all of these have been 350ml cans. Bam. This one here is coming at 5.5%, still in that 5 to 6% range. What we're looking at is a 3.34 on the Untapped. So it's actually even with the, the Kirin Ichiban Shibori Koru Nama. Bam. That's what we're looking at, and it's actually one of the most expensive ones. So this is $8.50.
Trying to get you with the numbers, with the fingers and the numbers.
Oh, this looks like it's going to be one that you definitely don't want to be drinking.
I've still got my
don't get it mixed up.
Kirin beer.
We should do a blind taste test to see if you can tell the difference after this.
Alright. I'll drink this much, then we can make it blind.
Yep. Well,
cheers to that.
Actually, cheers, bro.
Cheers to what a great episode.
It's actually smelling pretty good. It is starting to heat up in here.
Is it the lights are on bright, or are you nervous and you're getting flustered, or is it because
I feel the wall? That is, we're starting to cook.
We're cooking, bro. We're on slow cook. We're on. I got no jokes. I got run out of jokes.
That is good.
Is it?
I don't think you'll like it.
No, I hate it. I've already sipped it. It's better than that one.
It is?
Just.
How we felt about these beers, the lineup. I think we started off strong and we faded hard in the back.
Yeah. Oh, the first one, ace. Second one, main event. Third one, we started to shake a bit. Third one, fourth one, how do you count? 1, 2, 3, 4. At the fourth one, tasted a bit too bitter, coffee-ish. black beers, I don't know. I'm never gonna even. They're not even gonna come into my thoughts. Like I'm gonna block them out and I'm pretend they don't exist. So this one's
some PTSD.
This one's the last one, and these don't exist.
Oh, so you're sort of like that.
And then I squash the clan.
Yeah.
Squash the clan first, and then I squash the can.
Squash the clan.
Squash the can.
I think if I was going to line them up, that makes sense. You don't like the dark beers, boom, that's your line.
Yep.
Me, I'm going to chuck it up like that. I agree with all the first ones were probably the best. Sort of did them the wrong way round. Sort of did them the wrong way round. We should have ended on a bang.
You're going to catch a
Yeah,
rabbit?
Worry, doughy, whatever. Boom!
What the?
But I think that's us pretty much done. So, as always, appreciate you watching. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, leave us a comment, and of course, catch you on the next one. Gee.